This is Radio Taiwan International. Welcome to the news on Radio Taiwan International. I'm Michelle Chang, coming to you from Taipei, Taiwan. We begin with a look at today's top stories for Friday, May 15th. Taiwan is not a bargaining chip in US-China talks, according to a security official. Analysts are saying that the Iran war offers lessons for future US-China conflict. And Taiwan is committed to helping Ukraine establish non-red supply chains, says the representative to Poland. But first, today's top story. A senior national security official said Taiwan will not become a bargaining chip in US-China negotiations following the Thursday, May 14th meeting between President Donald Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping. While China is expected to raise Taiwan in such talks, the official said that the US has repeatedly affirmed its commitment to peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait. The official emphasized that Taiwan holds a key strategic position and shares mutual interests with the United States and regional partners. As a result, Washington would not trade away a core interest or negotiate Taiwan's future. Taiwan should not view itself as being, quote, on the chopping block or subject to transactional bargaining, the official added. According to Chinese state media, she described Taiwan as the most important issue in US-China relations, warning that mishandling it could lead to serious risks. The White House summary of the meeting did not mention Taiwan. However, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio later said Washington's policy remains unchanged, noting that China routinely raises the issue and the U.S. responds consistently before moving on. The official said the U.S. goal in the talks is to manage geopolitical risks and prevent conflict, especially in the Indo-Pacific region. Taiwan will continue close coordination with the United States and deepen ties with other partners to safeguard democratic system and regional stability. Analysts say China is closely studying U.S. battlefield performance and missile defense vulnerabilities.
As the war involving Iran enters its third month, military analysts say the conflict is becoming a real-world case study for both Beijing and Washington, offering new insight into how a future U.S.-China conflict could unfold. According to a CNN report, Chinese military observers are closely examining how U.S. forces perform under sustained combat conditions, especially the strengths and weaknesses of American missile defense systems. Former Chinese Air Force Colonel Fu Qianshao said one major lesson for the PLA is the need to strengthen its own defensive capabilities. Iran has repeatedly used low-cost drones and ballistic missiles to challenge U.S.-supplied Patriot and THAAD missiles defense systems in the Middle East, raising concerns about whether even advanced air defense networks can withstand prolonged saturation attacks. Experts say China is also studying the U.S. military's combination of high-end and low-cost warfare tactics. While deploying advanced weapon platforms such as the Lockheed Martin F-35 Lightning II and Northrop Grumman B-2 Spirit, the United States has also relied heavily on guided bombs and unmanned systems to strike missile sites and infrastructure. Taiwanese defense analysts warn China could apply similar tactics in a future Taiwan Strait conflict, combining missiles, rockets, and large drone swarms in saturation attacks. At the same time, the United States is rethinking its own strategy. Commander of U.S. Indo-Pacific Command Samuel Papero recently said drone warfare has significantly increased the cost of offensive operations. Analysts say Washington's proposed Drone Sea strategy, deploying large numbers of unmanned systems across the Taiwan Strait, is likely already being closely watched by Beijing. They also note that while China's military has modernized rapidly, the PLA still lacks large-scale combat experience compared to many U.S. commanders shaped by decades of war in the Middle East. Joey Cho for RTI News.
Taiwan's representative to Poland, Jeff Liu, says Taiwan is committed to helping Ukraine establish a non-red supply chain. That came in a pre-recorded speech at the Taiwan session of this year's Lviv Media Forum, or LMF, in Ukraine on Thursday, May 14th. Liu outlined 3 pillars of Taiwan's integrated diplomacy towards Ukraine: values-based diplomacy, alliance diplomacy, and economic diplomacy. Under the shared belief in the values of freedom and democracy, Taiwanese civil society organized supply collections and managed to ship out 27 tons of humanitarian aid within just 4 days after Russia's invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. Moreover, the Taiwanese government's aid to Ukraine has exceeded $150 million to date. Liu noted that Taiwan deeply understands the importance of information transparency during wartime, so it donated $500,000 to Reporters Without Borders, or RSF, to establish a press freedom center in Lviv and co-sponsored this year's Lviv Media Forum. Finally, Liu said that economic diplomacy is an ongoing process that represents Taiwan's firm commitment to Ukraine's long-term reconstruction and economic development. Taiwan is dedicated to becoming a key partner in that process, particularly in establishing non-red supply chains, which will help safeguard Ukraine from economic coercion from authoritarian states. The 2026 Lviv Media Forum, or LMF, opened Thursday, drawing a 7-member delegation from Radio Taiwan International, or RTI, led by chairperson Cheryl Lai. On the forum's opening day, the delegation met with Lviv Mayor Andriy Sadovi to discuss wartime city governance, media resilience, humanitarian assistance, and future bilateral cooperation. Lai told Sadovi that RTI launched its Ukrainian language service immediately after Russia's full-scale invasion in 2022, serving as a channel to deliver reliable information and to convey Taiwan's solidarity with the Ukrainian people. Mayor Sadovi welcomed the delegation warmly, citing the Ukrainian proverb, "Only the brave are unafraid to come to Lviv at a time like this." He thanked RTI for the visit and noted Taiwan's tangible contributions, including dozens of ambulances and fire trucks donated by Taiwan's government and civil society, as well as medical teams and large generators that have helped sustain power supply across Ukrainian cities during the ongoing energy crisis. RTI's delegation will participate in all 3 days of LMF 2026, joining media leaders from over 40 countries to discuss the role of media in wartime, information resilience, and international cross-border cooperation under this year's theme, Reality Under Attack, Flight, Freeze, or Fight. Taiwan has achieved its goal in eliminating hepatitis C ahead of schedule, reaching its target by the end of 2025 after a decade of effort, according to a CNA report. The health ministry submitted an application for certification to the WHO earlier this year, though the process is still under internal review. Taiwan plans to present its achievements at a side event during the World Health Assembly, or WHA, in Geneva, engaging with international experts. The WHO set a global target in 2016 to eliminate viral hepatitis by 2030. Taiwan announced last year that it had already met key benchmarks, including diagnosis and treatment rates exceeding 90%. Taiwan has applied for certification through the WHO Western Pacific Regional Office, with results pending expert evaluation. If approved, Taiwan would become the first in Asia to reach this milestone, alongside countries such as Iceland, Australia, and Egypt. During the upcoming WHA, Taiwan will host an International Hepatitis C Forum in Geneva on May 19th. The event aims to showcase its achievements and foster professional exchange. Authorities also noted that Taiwan's research has been published in international journals, further highlighting its success. Taipei Rapid Transit Corporation has organized its first food and travel festival. RTI reporter James Thompson is on the ground with the story.
Taipei Metro launches its first food and travel festival in Taipei's Xinzhongshan Linear Park. Taipei Rapid Transit Corporation, which runs the Taipei Metro, has organized its first food and travel festival in Xinzhongshan Linear Park. The multi-day public festival includes food stalls, tourism information, and stage performances. Taipei Mayor Jiang Wan'an and Taipei Rapid Transit Corporation Chairman Zhao Shaolian both spoke on Friday, May 15th at the festival, which was attended by more than 20 invited guests, including representatives from the Taipei Metro's Japanese, South Korean, and Singaporean partners. Speaking at the festival, the mayor said that the area around Xinzhongshan Linear Park, which is located between Zhongshan and Shuanglian MRT stations, has become a very popular spot for many local residents and young people. Jiang said the delicious food, markets, performances, and more at the festival were very exciting, and expressed his hope that these kinds of activities could attract city residents and promote travel exchanges. The event runs until Sunday, May 17th, daily from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m, with around 100 stalls, according to organisers. This is James Thompson with Radio Taiwan International, reporting in Taipei.
Thanks for joining me for the news. I'm Michelle Chang. Stay tuned for another 50 minutes of English language features brought to you by Radio Taiwan International.
RTI News, programs, pictures, and more. Online at rti.org.tw/en. Check it out.